Oh yeah, baby. Week 2. That was fast. I, f- I,
Dun-dun-dun,
s-
dun-dun-dun.
I can still remember week 1, baby. Week 2 is here. Let's go. Thursday is the day of this recording. Thursday is the Chiefs versus the Chargers. That is tonight's game. You have a whole bunch of other games on Sunday. You have 2 Monday night games. We're talking starts. We're talking sits. We're going over a preview of a couple of the games. We're going to talk about 8 to 7, 7 to 8 games. To go over some big games. Obviously, the Jet game, the Giant game, the Steeler game. We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. Um, let's talk to the men. Let's talk all the guys that are here. Chris, how you doing today? What's going on?
Doing good, bro. Um, Excited for tonight's game. Definitely, I think tonight's gonna be a shootout, a very high scoring game. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get into it.
Oh yeah, baby. How you doing? See, how you doing?
It's all good, man. Week 2 is gonna be amazing, like week 1 was, and I can't wait for tonight. I don't see a defensive game happening. Thursdays are weird, but with these two teams, like I really don't see a defensive game. Like it's
Uh,
gonna be a shootout, like Chris said.
Especially with the Chargers corner Jackson. He's gonna be out. He's a game time decision, but he's probably gonna be out. So it's even
Crazy,
probably
man.
more of a shootout. But I I just feel like without Keenan Allen, it's hard for me to say that the Chargers are gonna win. It really because Keenan
I
Allen has such a good game.
I think Austin Eckler's gonna have to step up big for them to win
Oh,
because he
listen,
was
Oh,
quiet
I
last
see
week.
a game for
So I think
Austin
him.
for them to
Eckler
win, he got to step up.
Austin Eckler was quiet. Mike Williams was quiet. Those two guys have to be the answers. And I will lean more to Austin Eckler since he didn't score a touchdown. And last season, that was
Yeah, I
his
think
thing.
this is gonna be his bounce back week.
He might get 2 to 3 touchdowns. Holy crap! Austin Eckler is gonna be hopefully should have a great Thursday game.
For
Before
sure.
we get to the injuries, I want to ask you guys a question because
Mhm.
this got brought up to me, and we are gonna answer a mailbag question. That's what I'm gonna use. Are you if I offer you, are you taking this trade? Miles Sanders for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I give you Miles Sanders and you give me Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Are you doing it, Chris?
You said if I wait, you said if you're giving me Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I'm giving you Miles Sanders and I get Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh no. Oh well, for I don't know. It's hard because Miles Sanders had a very good week, surprisingly. And the offense, it's only week 1, but the offense looked really promising. But I don't
But
know.
no.
I mean, no, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire too. I mean, we haven't been high on him either all off season, but then he showed out too, just like Miles Sanders. I don't know.
I think
I don't
I
know.
think
It's
there's
tough.
two big differences. See, tell me
I
what you
think gotta
think.
wait a couple weeks to
Yeah,
find out, see what
honestly,
happens.
uh, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I think he's gonna be a sell big candidate, especially after tonight. I think he's gonna get another touchdown. There's gonna be touchdown. It's gonna be a Oprah show tonight. You get a touchdown, you get a touchdown. It's gonna be everybody. He's gonna get another one. He's gonna get
Hope
15 to
so.
20 points tonight. I think he does. He's actually someone I would start again this week.
Oh
I
yeah.
think I think for sure he gets another 15, 20 points. Now, after this week, I I do think that there will be some type of decline, but before the decline, you got 2 straight weeks of maybe if he gets 20 points today, you got two straight weeks of 20 points. You can sell high, and I think Miles Sanders, yeah, he looked good, but another thing you gotta look at the Eagles. All three running backs looked good that game. They all scored.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
all scored. Miles Sanders wasn't the only one. Gainwell scored. What's the other one? Boston Scott. Was it
Yes.
Boston
Yes.
Scott scored as well? So I would aim a little higher than Miles Sanders for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That I believe.
So
I think yeah.
here's I'm gonna change this trade for you. This is what I think probably where his peak is at. Just after week 1. If I offer you Travis Etienne for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you taking it?
No.
No. Well,
I
I wouldn't make any trades until maybe like week 3,
I'm just saying
just
right
to
now, if
see. Oh,
someone just
right
was just
now,
like if some after week 1, if I offer you Clyde Edwards-Helaire for Travis Etienne, you're keeping Etienne.
it,
yeah, just because I think there's promise with him.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
you're
he
they
probably
was
right.
he was ranked high for a reason. Everybody's high on him coming out of college for a reason.
No, yeah.
So I don't know.
The biggest thing with ETN, and I didn't want to switch the conversation, but with ETN, it was the fact that people did not believe that James Robinson would come back week 1 after a torn Achilles, and be as dominant as he was.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing.
That's
But
the-
I do agree that the fact that ETN is slowly gonna get involved. He got a lot of passing work. He just didn't score, and that's what's gonna happen when you're part of the Jags offense.
I think
But
he's in the
when
same situation as Brees Hall. He
yeah,
has
same
someone
thing.
he has someone on top of him that he's gonna have to win the job over, and I think he will because he
The
has
only
the
difference,
talent to do
I
so.
don't think ETN beats James Robinson. Listen, he had 2 straight seasons last year before he got hurt. He was a top 10 on running back in fantasy and probably a top 10 in actual NFL. Like James Robinson was undrafted. He's just that beast. Michael Carter, really, we don't know about that. But anyways,
What if Carter continues to do what he did week 1? Because he wasn't a bum week 1. He actually put in some work in week
no,
1.
he did really well. I still believe Brees Hall's a better running back. You see, like I can't say
No,
that
for
about
sure.
Travis.
He's the better running back.
I
for
still
sure.
can't believe that about Travis Etienne. Like I believe that Brees Hall will win that job. Travis Etienne, I don't think he wins it. I think he just gets a passing role, which is good. And it's good for both of those guys because there's a lot of two-headed monsters. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones, Javonte Williams, Melvin Gordon. There's a lot of two-headed monsters. So I'll be interesting to see that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he only had 10 carries, and that's why people were acting all crazy. But I think that's just because they were beating the Cardinals by like 100 points, so they didn't have to play him. So I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire it should be someone that you keep in your team. I'm actually gonna disagree with you a little bit. C is that I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire will probably be a solid flex for the rest of the season because if he's gonna get this attention on the passing work and get some attention in the goal line with that because Tyreek Hill is not there, just like you said before, Patrick Mahomes is only gonna be a different wide receiver. It may just be the same running back
No, I
with the
understand
different
that,
wide
and I'm
receivers.
not saying that. I said like when I talked about a decline, I said slight. I didn't think it was gonna be something crazy that he's gonna start getting 5-10 points a game. I still think he's gonna have value, but
Yeah.
with these first 2 weeks, if you use the first 2 weeks as a sample size, you can probably sell super high and get someone a lot more valuable than Clyde Edwards-Helaire
Okay.
will be.
I try to bring up Travis Etienne to believe that's who you were talking about, but you guys declined me. So where is he? If you wanted to trade him for a high player, let's say he gives another 20 plus point games, who are you aiming for that you could believe you could trade CDH for to get that player? That's in a very slow start.
I
Because you
have
keep
to
saying.
like you say that, and I just in my head like block of names. Just I have to
You see,
whip
like
out.
when you said that to me, I thought about ETN because ETN gave you what 8 points, I believe, right? You have him on your or more. I forgot.
I don't. I
If
don't
you
even.
drafted ETN and having doubts after that first game, or maybe even after the second game, then yeah,
Mm.
you would probably consider taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire and giving away
Yeah,
ETN.
so
Yeah,
so
8 points.
he did 8.5, right? Let's say he
Yeah.
repeats it. Another 8.5. Clyde does another 20 bomb. Now you're talking about the ADPs are we're not too far off, but now Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on a 20.2 game start, and ETN's on an 8.5, and you believe ETN should finish higher than CDH.
Yeah,
Now, if you offer me that, and it's like, ooh, I'm struggling. I'm 0-2, and if you're desperate, I think you pull it. If you're not 0-2, maybe you don't do it. But it was just an interesting thought.
yeah.
But yeah, I was told about this trade, and I wanted to hear you guys.
Ramondre's. I don't know what you really think about like Ramondre Stevenson and
I think there's gonna be an increase just in the fact that Ty Montgomery it did get placed on IR, so now it's only a two-headed backfield, just like how we wanted. And I think Ramondre is gonna be the passing down guy.
So you think that is that a good trade? You believe?
Well, the Patriots in general did terrible, and if he
Yeah.
was to do another bad game, and if I have Ramondre, yeah, I'll take it. But if I'm the CDH manager, I'm not asking for Ramondre. I'm aiming
Even
high.
higher than that.
I'm gonna aim for ETN. If
Yeah,
ETN
yeah,
does
for
another
sure.
stinker, I'm going for him because I believe he'll pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. I want to see you guys' opinion on that trade offer. I would have, just like we all agreed, would not trade CEH for Miles Sanders. Let's go over the news and notes really quickly. Ravens running back J.K. Dobbins was a full participant in practice for a second consecutive day. So that is pretty much he's probably gonna start and he's gonna play this week against oh my god, the Ravens play who? Oh my god, I had a brain fart. Well, he's gonna start today. Whoever the
Who?
Ravens
I'm
play
sorry, I missed
against.
who?
The Ravens. I had a brain
No, with the
fart.
player.
Dobbins.
Dobbins. Okay.
So if you have Dobbins in your team, are you sitting him this week to see if he has a snap count or to see how he plays, or are you starting him on your flex?
Yeah, I'm
No,
sitting
I
him.
sit him.
I'm
Yeah.
sitting him this week. I still have to see what he can do, and if he's messing around with injuries, I don't like. I have to be. I'm very skeptical with healthy running backs and on the Ravens, and if he's dealing with injury, then yeah, I'm
And they
most
play
definitely sitting
Miami.
him.
There we go. It came in my head. I'm sorry. They play
And that's
Miami.
actually not
It's not the
the
best matchup.
greatest of matchups. So yeah, most definitely sitting him.
Okay.
Yeah.
George Kittle not spotted at a Thursday practice again because of a groin injury. At this point, you just have to prepare for him not to play.
Mhm.
And we're gonna talk about some tight ends. We already mentioned a whole bunch. If you really don't want to play the game, if Gerald Everett is on your waiver wire, I would just pick him up now and just plug him in to start against tonight with the Charger game. I think like we all said, there should be a shootout. Michael Pittman quad officially did not practice on Thursday. So a lot of people, myself, very high on Michael Pittman, had a great first season, week one. I think that's just the many of week ones that of that many games he's gonna have. But he is hurt, and we're gonna talk about some people. And we have talked about people to pick up. He didn't participate. It's not a good sign when your guy does not participate at all on a Thursday. It usually could mean he might miss the game. So keep your eyes on that. No practice today for the Bucks wide receiver Mike Evans and for Saints running back Alvin Kamara. Now, excuse me, this Alvin Kamara injury seems like he had it to start the game week one, which explains why he gave you a little bit of a stinker. So if he's having issues right now still with that injury, he's probably not going to play. So if you don't have good running back depth, you're probably going to have to go reach out for Mark Ingram, which I don't think that's a best of starts anyways because they played Tampa Bay's defense. So I honestly, I am an Alvin Kamara owner. I'm not even picking on Mark Ingram unless this injury is really serious, but I'm not even concerned to be honest with you. I think he'll probably if he misses game one, if he misses this week, I won't go crazy. And if he does play, I'm plugging him in like always. He's starting on my team. DeAndre Swift did not practice for second day straight, but he told uh at David Brickett that his ankle injury is nothing to worry about.
Yeah, he basically said, "I will be playing week 2." That's literally what he said. His words, which I
Are
like, but at
we
the same time, it's kind of scary.
are we starting Jamal Williams if we need a flex option?
Um,
Um,
if he's
if
dealing with injury, I would do it just because I think he'll be getting some goal line carries and maybe score some more touchdowns like he did week 1.
yeah,
Same
I
you,
agree. I,
same to
I
you.
think yeah, I think you still start him in your flex. Like Chris said, just because he's gonna get a lot of the goal work, and you are gonna get at least a touchdown from him. If you need a flex spot, if you're like iffy,
Yeah, because if you're dealing with injuries
everything like that.
if Michael Pittman is out, if George Kittle's out, and you
Yeah.
drafted J.K. Dobbins, and or your whole team is getting beat up, then
Yeah.
yeah,
And they're
you're gonna
facing
have
the
to.
Commanders too. It's a pretty good matchup for
It is.
you.
Yep, it is.
So you should be able to be good there.
Um, there's not much left. Saints quarterback Jameis Winston was limited today with a back injury, but he should be ready to go this
He's
week. He should be okay. And if we haven't said it already, Chargers wide receiver Keenan Allen is ruled out for today's matchup. So if you have Joshua Palmer, I think you plug him in. I think you take the big risk of the game. I think if you have Mike Williams and if you're very upset at what he did last week, please do not sit him. I do think that's a mistake. Give this guy another week. I think he probably should get his numbers back this week.
All right, Kayvon Thibodeau might play Sunday. All right, that doesn't have to do with fantasy. I'm just happy about that.
Wow. Okay.
I'm just
So
happy.
that was all the news and notes. Let's get into our game previews. Let's start a little bit on the, yeah, I was about to do like a little that same thing, Chris. I want to do like a noise. I want to get a thing. Make some noise.
I'm gonna get some buttons here. I gotta make I gotta
Yeah, we
figure
gotta
something
get it. We
out,
gotta get
man.
it. Let's
You want
start
the
on the
games up?
positives. Yeah, go ahead. Get them up, and while we talk about it real quick, let's start with the positives. The Giants, who are 1-0, they face
What's
against
to
the
do Super
Panthers.
Bowl?
They face the Panthers today. This week. They have a good matchup. Saquon Barkley should produce similar to what he did. He should do really good. How do we feel about a little bit of the stinkers? Chris, talk to me about DJ Moore. You expect a pickup game? You expect a bounce back week?
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Oh, I forget. Sometimes I still get confused with the Chris C's
All
thing.
right,
Sorry.
we just go full on our names,
No, he ain't gonna do that anymore. He's done with that.
I can't. It's too much syllables for that his name.
But yeah, as you can see, we both agree. I think we definitely think it's gonna be a bounce back game. Just matchup wise, Baker did, he did pretty good. I mean, they lost the game, but it wasn't his fault. They lost, by a last minute field goal. But I do think you start him though. Definitely, he's gonna have a good game.
Are you starting Robbie Anderson after his hot week 1?
Um,
No.
not as your what? Like you
Uh,
said, with
so,
all the injuries going around the league.
a
Yeah, with all the
flex.
injuries going around the league and a flex, against the Giants, I will feel comfortable starting him.
So now I'm gonna mention a name that you brought up. If I gave you Robbie Anderson or Zay Jones from Jacksonville Jaguars, who are you starting? You had to start one.
Zay Jones.
And Zay Jones is who the Jacksonville's playing? Washington.
They're playing. No, Jacksonville is playing. The Colts right there.
The Colts.
Zay Jones. And I'm gonna give y'all a stat. And tell you exactly why I'm saying these things.
Christian is like struggling
Nah,
right
I don't know.
now.
I still go Robbie. I trust Baker more than I trust Trevor Lawrence right now.
Yeah, and he probably has a better matchup. The Giants secondary is not that great.
Yeah.
But what I will say to obvious Christian McCaffrey managers, did you guys see what Dante Hiller did to the Giants secondary? And
Oh
he
yeah.
was just a backup receiving back. McCaffrey, I hope this man goes crazy on the Giants. I really do.
Me too. I mean, I'm a Giants fan. I got the Giants hat on, but I love
No, yeah,
McCaffrey this
but
year.
listen, McCaffrey's gonna go
Got him
crazy.
2 leagues.
He has to pick it up.
I have him in
So,
2 leagues.
there's not much more to talk about. To
No,
who to start.
before you keep going, I just want to say that don't be too confident with wide receivers facing the Giants. Don't think that the Giants don't have the greatest of defense, but I'm gonna give you a stat. The Giants have been top 6 in points allowed against wide receivers in their last 8 contests. Robbie Anderson,
That was when you had Badbury though. But yeah.
and we're including the last game as well. And at the same time, Robbie Anderson only had he had a great week last week. He had a 75-yard touchdown. Is that gonna happen every week? I can
He had the
guarantee
longest
you.
touchdown of the week.
Of the week. That's last
Yeah.
week. This is week 2. Will it happen again? Possibly. Are you take that 75-yard touchdown away from him? What does his points look like against a Giants defense who are not really great, but they're not allowing a lot on the in the air, to be honest. So
I mean,
and I think Christian McCaffrey this is gonna be his game, I think. So I
Yeah.
think this is more of the running. McCaffrey's gonna be the beast of the game, and I don't think that they emphasize a lot in throwing the ball anyways when it comes to this game. So that's just me. Maybe they throw more if I mean I just mentioned Thibodeau coming back, so maybe you never know, but that's just my take on that.
I mean, I'm gonna take away the 7 out of the 8 games that you said because you had Badbury and that guy was just that guy on that could hold a number 1 wide receiver. And last week's game, I mean, congratulations, you was able to slow down rookie wide receivers on their first game opener, and Robert Woods, who was coming back from ACL. So I guess you could take those stats and take it with you, or you could think of what I just said, and I probably would lean towards the fact that DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson are better wide receivers at this point than what the Titans do at the Giants. So I will go with that, and the fact that I trust Baker more than I trust Tannehill. So I would more lean towards that. McCaffrey has a great game, okay, but I was leaning to that. If I had to pick one to start, I'll pick Robbie, and I think DJ Moore is a great start as well. I think the whole Panthers team needs to make a statement, and I think they'll do good. But listen, I can't discredit what Brian Dable has done with the week 1. Giants are coming in with a lot of motivation, and it might help them win this game. And I think they have a chance to win it. But if I had to pick, I'll pick the Panthers by a field goal. I think it'll be a very close game because the Giants are
Yeah.
coming in with a lot of confidence, and you guys won that week 1, and that might help them win this game. And obviously, Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question because I saw this and I want to ask you guys if we was redrafting right now after week 1, are you taking Saquon Barkley over Austin Eckler?
No, no,
No.
I wouldn't say that much. I mean, not after 1 week. I mean, yeah, he had a great game, but just 1 week.
Now, when I ask that, are you? What I mean is also for the rest of the year. So you're banking on a healthy Saquon and a season where he's dominant over Austin Eckler, who's on a high power offense.
But all right. If you change the question like that, saying that it's gonna be a healthy Saquon doing what he did last week, yeah, I'll take Saquon over him. If I know that, but we don't know that, so that's kind of hard to
How
pick.
about if I just say a fully healthy Barkley and a fully healthy Eckler after
I-
week 1?
I'll go with Eckler.
I would consider Barkley only because Barkley's been gone down in the thing because of his injuries. You know that if Barkley played the last 3 years and was considered a person who was a healthy person, he probably would be up top or fighting for spots
Yeah.
and in the same tier as Austin Eckler.
And that is what week 1 does to you guys as fantasy managers. That does to everybody. Week 1, week 2, these plays are gonna get your mind going crazy, and it makes you think crazy things like that. But I asked the question, but I'm still on the Eckler side. I think he just had a slow week, and I think he is at the end of the year. I think he could finish higher than Barkley. But if you're telling me that Barkley gets the same production every week, which we don't know, like you said, but if he's getting what he had 11 receptions, or he just had a whole bunch of damn
It don't
receptions. Like,
matter. Just with the rushing was crazy. He had like
yeah,
165. I don't know
he
what the
was the
hell he was doing.
offense, so that's interesting.
That's
Last question: is there any giant wide receiver that you're willing to flex in your lineup if you need it after all these injuries?
no, not at all.
No.
I would think about if you're really deep. I'm talking about 14 team league. Think about Sterling Shepard, but no.
You too, Chris. I always see you
No.
nodding your head. All right. Well, that was basically what we covered of the Panthers and the Giants. Are we? I'm gonna ask you. See, are you picking the Giants to win this game?
Of course, I pick the Giants to win every game. I don't care if they're favorite. I don't care if they're facing Kansas City. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think we can win this game. The Panthers, especially from what I saw from the Panthers, the Panthers did good last week. Baker Mayfield is an upgrade, but they're still not one of the better teams. I mean,
All right.
I do have a chance. I do have a feeling the Giants can come on if they come with the same motivation and if
Yep.
they play if Daniel Jones learns from 1 week to another not to throw a pick in the red zone, I think we actually could have a really good
Okay.
chance of being really good.
Chris, give me an answer. Who you think will win this game?
Panthers.
Are you a Panthers? I think Panthers by a field goal. I think Jets and Browns. Let's talk about them. There's not much to say besides the fact that I still think you're starting Elijah Moore because Joe Flacco is still going to throw to him. I do believe you start him. Now, my question to you guys is, are you starting Amari Cooper, who did a stinker, which we didn't like to begin with, who was on our do not draft list, but he faces the Jets. The Browns might get a heavy lead, or they might not because Jacoby Brissett is just not that good.
I don't even
And
know, man.
and the Browns are known for their running game, and the Jets did stop Lamar Jackson last week. They did stop the running game. They lost because of 2 bombs and because Joe Flacco doesn't move. I'm gonna call him Joe Slowpoke. Like he just can't move.
I don't know. I think Kareem Hunt is the hero of this game, and not on the ground like you said. I think more on the
Yeah,
passing
on the
down.
dubs off. Yeah, he could definitely take
I
advantage of that. You're
think
right.
he's the hero of this game. Does Amari Cooper get some looks? Yeah, but let's be honest, he's gonna be going up against
The sauce.
the
The
Sauce.
only excitement I
So
have. Well, not only.
I really would
But
say to even sit him because now as bad as the Jets are, Sauce is not gonna let Amari do anything. So I mean, I don't trust that. So he did terrible last week. I think he's gonna do bad again this week.
Chris, what do you think, Chris? Anybody that you think that normally is on your lineup that you should sit, or someone you think that you should start?
Well, obviously you definitely start Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Definitely
Nick Chubb,
start
you're starting.
Nick
Yeah.
Chubb, you're starting. Elijah Mitchell, I'm sorry, Elijah Moore, you're starting.
I know you said
Yeah.
on the last video that a little sleeper one would have been Corny Davis. Are you willing to start him over all the flex guys that we talked about? You started him over everybody else that we mentioned, or no? Robbie
Uh,
Anderson, Zay Jones, I'm missing somebody else, but whatever. Oh, Sterling Shepard. Are you starting him over all those other guys if you had to pick one?
Nah,
Okay.
definitely not starting him.
Thank God. Okay.
Like Chris said too, like if you're in deep leagues, these are guys, everybody you named, Corey Davis, Zay Jones, all these guys you could definitely plug in. But, if you're in a 10-man league like us, stuff like that, nah, you want to stay away from them.
Yeah. Now I would say on the Jet side, what in the world? On the Jet side, I would say Michael Carter. I think you think you should flex him. I think it was known that he's gonna take the start off a little heavy, and I think you sit Brees Hall this week. I think you need to wait till Brees Hall commands that backfield. I think you sit him. Now I'm gonna do it, and I don't care. I don't call me biased, but I think the Jets win this game. I have them winning this game by a field goal.
No, I
And,
agree. I was gonna say the
I
Jets
mean,
also.
I think Flacco's a better quarterback than Brissett. So.
yeah, but my problem is Miles Garrett. He's gonna get to the quarterback.
Yeah,
That's my
man's
problem.
gonna bully your line.
That's my problem. Like I was surprised that Chris just said that he doesn't think the Jets gonna win too, because I think the Jets
But
are like
seeing the Jets defense last week, I think the Browns are gonna have a real struggle scoring as well. So I
Yeah.
think this might be a real low scoring game.
oh
But at the
100%.
But at the same time, if it's a real low scoring game, I think the Jets can come out of nowhere
Oh,
and win this as well.
I get nervous. All right, I got a headache. Okay. Uh, you're going with the Browns, Chris? C?
I'll go with the Browns this game. Yeah.
You want the Browns? Okay.
Though you went with the
Let's
Panthers.
go. Yeah, I went with the Panthers. Don't take it bias, all right? I think Christian McCaffrey's a problem. I don't know how you guys gonna stop him. You don't have a linebacker to hold them, okay? If you had a freaking Dante Hillier embarrass your linebackers, what Christian McCaffrey gonna do? All right, like relax, okay? Damn. Go to the Steeler game real quick. Freak
Stupid.
jealous person right there. Steelers and the Patriots.
It's funny because
Let's-
these 3 games after Monday were
Right.
first.
Oh yeah, baby.
That's funny.
And that's probably these are all like the least, probably the one with the most points will probably end with the Giants and Panthers, because I think this game will be low scoring too. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Patriots and the Steelers.
Yeah.
You're starting Deontay Johnson because the way you drafted him, you're not sitting him. I think you're sitting Chase Claypool, George Pickens. If Najee can't go, you're starting the backup. I forgot his name, but you're starting him.
Warren
But-
something. I think
Something,
Warren.
yeah. But let me ask you guys a question. I'm gonna ask Chris because he's a Steelers fan. Are you worried about Najee Harris already having problems?
No. Nah, not at all. Unless other news comes out that that's anything besides an ankle or it's like a lingering thing, then but as of right now it's just looking like a 1 or 2 game thing as of
Okay.
right now. But no, I don't worry just yet. And when he comes back and and it's still lingering and stuff, then I would start to worry. But no, I'm not too worried about it.
I mean, it looks like he's gonna play, and obviously you're gonna start him if he's available.
Yeah,
But he has a tough matchup. He's
I
already
wouldn't start him.
he's
The
already
Steelers
banged
are
up.
Crazy.
I
wouldn't
mean,
start him.
you have to start him. You can't just sit him.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for fantasy wise, like if he's
Oh,
playing,
fantasy was yeah.
yeah, my bad. Like as the team, probably you give him a rest. But fantasy wise, if he starts, you gotta plug him in. You drafted him with your first pick, your first round pick, or your early second. You're starting him, but he has a bad matchup and he's already hurt. So don't expect a lot from him unless he ends up getting in the end zone. Pat Fryermuth, actually, I think it should be a solid start because
The
there's not
Muth?
much. The Muth
The
should
Muse.
start. I think you should start him. I think he has a nice opportunity to get a lot of checkdowns from Trubisky. I think you start him. The Patriots side. Are we starting anybody on the Patriots? Is there anybody you happy with?
The defense.
You really, or you know what? I can agree with that. I guess.
I wouldn't be. I
mean, I
wouldn't be
guess,
surprised if
yeah.
they have a good, a decent game.
Yeah, but offensively, I don't know. Based on the defense we saw from the Steelers last week, I don't know if I'm comfortable starting anybody on the Patriots.
Well, okay, and now I'm only gonna say one thing. You lost your big piece. TJ Watt is out.
Yeah.
So, if he was there, then I would say Steelers are gonna dominate this game and they're gonna get to the quarterback.
yeah,
Now without TJ,
it does
it's a
take
big hit.
away. It does take away a lot not having TJ. But I mean, yeah, you lose the pass rush, but there's not really any pass rush to rush because Mac Jones is just garbage. So he's not really rushing for anything.
He's a captain, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's just it sucks. It hurts you so bad, but I mean, I still think the that defense is just still too stat. I mean, look, they got 5 picks off of Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah, TJ Watt did have a lot to do with that, putting pressure on Joe Burrow, this and that, and everything like
Yeah.
that. But if they could get 5 picks off Joe Burrow, they could definitely get 6 picks off of Mac Jones.
No, imagine that. I don't think he'll get 6. I don't think Belichick will
I'm
allow
just
him.
saying,
I
yeah.
don't think Belichick will allow him to throw after 1 pick. I
He's
think
gonna
they'll
have
just run the
he's
ball.
gonna have 15 attempts throwing the
Nah,
ball.
look, I'll never pick the Patriots to win any game, but I truly believe that this game is a low-scoring game, and I think Steelers take the win by a field goal as well. I think all of these first 2 games we talked about, I think are all field goal game winners. So I think I take Steelers
Belichick
to
knows
win.
how to win defensive games.
So you're taking Patriots.
Yeah.
Damn, you're gonna have to both our teams. This guy's weird.
I didn't go after your team.
Yo, yes, you did. All right.
I picked them to win.
No, you
No,
picked the Browns, bro.
You picked the Browns and the Patriots.
I didn't pick the Browns. I literally
you
said
did.
that
All
Flacco
right.
is a better
At the-
quarterback
at
than
the-
Brissett.
At the end of this podcast,
We
we're
are
going
rewinding
back.
it.
and we're
You
getting-
probably
no,
meant
no.
to say Jets, but you said
No, I
Browns.
said
No,
the
no, no.
Jets.
I have
said
a
the
witness.
Jets.
My
Even though
witness is right
I
here.
said even though you went against my Giants, I'm gonna go with the Jets. And then that's when you came off on me. Remember?
No, I asked. I said, okay, Chris, who are you taking? He said Jets. I said, I see who you pick. He said, I'll go with the Browns because you went with the Giants because you went with the Panthers. That's what you
All
said.
We gonna rewind the tape.
We gotta move on. Whatever.
Rewind the
We
tape.
gotta move on. All right. I'm gonna talk about one game that we should look at. You guys have your other teams ready. I think a big game this week is the Commanders and the Lions.
Damn it.
And I want to talk about the Commanders and the Lions because you can start almost everybody on this
For
team.
sure.
Should be a good game because there's no defenses involved in this
Oh
game.
yeah. No, it's
Now I
invisible.
think, they're invisible. I think John J. Swift will be great even with his little injury. I think Jamal Williams you could flex. I think you could start Amari St. Brown. I think you could plug in DJ Chark. I think that everything TJ Hawkinson is the only guy that scares me because we did talk about this. Detroit has too many weapons and too many people to feed. Now with Jared Goff at quarterback, you're not gonna get all that attention. And if Amari St. Brown is gonna be that guy with DJ Chark and DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinson looks like he might be out of my top 10 on tight ends. He doesn't look good. I don't like him. I think if he doesn't show something in this game, I don't like it. Here's my
He
question.
looked good too when he had the ball.
Yeah,
Like,
he
that's-
did. I don't know. I think I take Dallas Goedert over him always and forever. Jahan Dotson from the Washington Commanders. Are we flexing him after that first week 1? He looked amazing as a rookie. I called it.
He did look amazing, but I actually have Curtis Samuel as on my flex. Jahan
You
Dotson.
take Curtis? Oh,
I actually would take Curtis Samuel. The amount of
no rookie love.
targets and catches that he had. He proved what that last year, injury ridden, what he could have done last year if he wasn't injured. Or if he wasn't injured. So this year he's coming out, he's healthy. He showed a good game last week, and I think this week he's gonna show another one. Even if he doesn't score a touchdown, I think he has like 5, 6, 7 catches.
What do you think, Chris? You think Dobson or Curtis Samuel?
I go Curtis Samuel, just because even though Dotson had a great week, maybe you give him one more game on the bench just to see, just to see if that first game was a fluke or it was just, something else.
Nah,
But
that's a wide receiver.
Curtis Samuel did do great. He had 9 looks. He had 6 catches. He had over 70 something yards. Add a touchdown to that if he would have got it. It would have been a really, really good game. So I do like Curtis Samuel in this match. But like I said, it's just see what happens to Dotson. If Dotson comes up again and has another crazy game, then after that it's like, all right, Dotson's the guy. But it could always be a fluke, be that one game thing, and then he goes quiet.
No, listen, you're 100%
That's
right. Now
why.
look, like Curtis Samuel had 11 targets, caught 8 passes for 55
Yeah, he
yards
did.
only, and 1 touchdown. So he did good, and he was like the little dump off guy, which is PPR probably is a better option. But when I look at this matchup, this is like a big shootout, and with a shootout like what Washington did last week, Dobson was their deep guy, and he ended up going crazy too. And Terry McLaurin, I think Scary Terry, you should be excited about, which we talked about a long time ago, even before the mock drafts. We talked about Terry McLaurin has an upgrade. This is his best quarterback that he ever gotten, and it showed that he did really well. Carson Wentz, I think if you having quarterback problems, if they have a bad matchup, Carson Wentz, you should plug in. He should be great. I think this is a really good matchup. I think that people may not be excited for it. It's not one of those heavy hitter teams because they're not like those dominant teams right now. But when you see like fantasy and the fact that this might be a high scoring game, I think it's interesting to watch. And I really do think this is a fun game, and this may win or lose your leagues. Is that game right there? A lot of players are there. Chris, give me a game that you're looking at that you think we need to talk about.
Sure. I with the Vikings and Eagles. I think it's gonna be a very fun game. And to be honest with you, I can't really give you an answer of like who I think would come out winning because the Eagles are a very good defensive team, but you saw what the Lions did to them in the second half.
Yep.
And but then on the other side, Kirk Cousins, has a history of choking in Monday night and in the big lights. So, I don't know. We'll see. These are two of my dark horses, for the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, I think these are two very underrated but good teams. Jalen Hurts looked amazing last week with AJ Brown.
What a combo that was. Oh my
same,
God.
same with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson.
So can I ask you a question real quick? You
yeah, I
said
think it's
that
gonna
if
be a
Kirk
good game.
Cousins, like he choked under the spotlight, is that gonna? Are you thinking that Jetta doesn't do as?
No, I
You think
think
that's
I
gonna
think
affect him?
nah, I think he still does good. I think he's still that guy that even in a slow game or a bad game from Cousins, he's still gonna give you at least 20 points. He's not gonna give you another 40 bomb or another 30
Oh, yeah.
something bomb, but he'll give you a good 20 points. Definitely.
Now let's talk about the other side real quick, because we had a now another deucer, another freaking donut from Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Now we all liked him because we thought he'd be solid, but he didn't do he didn't do anything. But he was like 97% of all the snaps. He was there. So you have to believe that he's gonna pick it up. I'm assuming that you guys will sit him if you have him on your team just to see what he does. I think if I have a better option, maybe I'll sit him as well. I just think that where he drafted at, you probably have to give him one more shot. I think he is gonna get that attention. I don't think AJ Brown's gonna get all the attention. How do you feel, C? You think
I
Devontae
think he's
Smith is
in
a
the
sit?
same situation as Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson had a
Yeah,
terrible week the first week. But he was there and he was there just about the same amount of snaps as
Amazon.
Devonta Smith. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
as
sorry.
Devonta Smith. So I mean, if the volume is there, if you're on the field for most of your team's offensive snaps, there's got to be opportunities, and he had opportunity, and he showed that he was a great player last year. I think that there was just first week, AJ Brown's there, ready to kill, and it just scared me how fast Jalen Hurts was like, all right, Brown is here. It's get that connection going.
Well, that is a different body wide receiver though.
Oh
Devontae
yeah,
Smith
for
is
sure.
skinny, a good, like a little slot guy. AJ Brown's a big dude. Like
Yeah.
that, you could target him anywhere and he's gonna catch it. And clearly, he targeted him everywhere, and he was just catching it.
Yeah.
And if you add a touchdown, AJ Brown has a freaking crazy week. He had a touchdown to that, and that's the only problem is that Jalen Hurts. The only difference between Allen Robinson and Devontae Smith is that Allen Robinson is on a high passing power offense, and Devontae Smith is on a not that high power
Yeah, they run a lot
offensive.
more.
Jalen Hurts runs. He likes to run. The
And with
Eagles
three
run a lot
quarterbacks.
more. They got 3 running backs. They have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts didn't even throw a touchdown, I believe. I think he threw 1 touchdown. No, he ran in for a touchdown.
He
He didn't even
ran in
throw a
and
touchdown.
yeah, he threw into AJ Brown. No.
No, AJ Brown didn't catch a touchdown.
Oh damn! So you just got all that points from just.
He got. That's
From
why I
just
love
catching the
Jalen
ball.
Hurts. That's why I love Jalen Hurts though. He doesn't have to throw a touchdown to get you points. Yeah, he threw for 243 yards, and Jalen Hurts rushed 17 attempts, rushed for 90 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yo, AJ Brown had 155 yards, not even a touchdown. Crazy.
Oh, AJ Brown played amazing without a touchdown. That's why I said, imagine if he did.
Oh my
That
God.
was a week to start. So that's my problem is that for Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, who did solid enough, he only, he gave you 9 points, nothing spectacular, but played solid. He gave you 9. AJ Brown gave you a whole ton of damn points. Devontae Smith might be, he should get involved. There's no way he's gonna give you another stinker like that. He'll probably be a solid flex play. So that is a very interesting game. I'm gonna roll, not because I have Jalen Hurts, but I'm gonna roll with the Eagles to win this game.
I agree. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
Because you have Jalen Hurts too. I love it.
Well,
Go
I have
ahead,
Jalen
C.
Hurts, I have AJ Brown, and I have Justin Jefferson. So I can't be biased for any of these teams. But
Well, I don't
I
have an
mean,
eagle, so I'm gonna go with Vikings. No, I'm kidding. But I still will go with the Vikings. I think the Vikings look actually pretty solid last week, and it's not
Okay.
like they're a bad team. I do love. I don't love the Eagles as a team, but you can't ignore the fact that they look good this year. But for this game, I'm taking the Vikings though.
And
I think they're a
Giants.
dark horse. I think the Eagles are a dark horse. I
Well,
think
at this point, with Dak Prescott missing 5 weeks, this is just their division to lose.
No. The Eagles win this division hands down. I have no doubts about that.
Well, you never know. Giants could go 4-0, and they could be in the top of the division.
Yeah,
yo,
the
anything's
Giants. The
possible.
Giants. I'm hoping the Giants can get second place. I'm not expecting first place
Yeah.
at all. The
I
Eagles-
think they're gonna
I
be
think the
fighting
Eagles
with
are that
Washington
good a
for
team.
second place.
No, they're really good. I think everybody you start. I think you even start Adam Thielen. I think I feel like week 1 was just a beginning of Jetta getting all the attention on purpose because everybody keeps down
He
talking him.
went to the office. He said,
And
"I want to be number
yeah,
one this year."
I think that he's gonna get his attention, but Adam Thielen is always a red zone threat. So
Always.
I think you plug him in for this game. I really do think so because Darius Slay Jr. is gonna be on Jetta, and it's not gonna make that much of a difference, but it should stop him a couple times and lean towards throwing to somebody else. I think Dalvin Cook has a great comeback game. He plays really solid. C, hit me with a game that you want to talk about.
Low key, the Buccaneers and Saints.
Oh,
Saints, for some
Yeah,
reason, no matter how good or bad they are, always give
Always give them a hard time.
them a hard time. And the Bucks look really good. Now, are they gonna look really good facing the Saints this week 1? Now, Jameis actually looked pretty good as well. Michael Thomas looks like his old self. Will Chris Olave start heating up a little bit? Alvin Kamara, he had a little bit of not a little bit. He had a bad game last week. Is it time for him to step it up this week? Buccaneers defense are not a team that are not a defense that is giving when it comes to yards, and they're a good defense. So but at the same time, the Saints always give them a problem. So I'm very interested to see how that game plays out if if history repeats itself.
Listen, I agree with you. The one thing I will say is that
I hate
Tampa
that that
Bay,
game is at 1 o'clock.
yeah,
It should be at 4 o'clock.
Tampa Bay looked good, looks good last week. But one thing I didn't notice that Tom Brady does not have an offensive line that he usually has.
No, he
Michael
doesn't.
Parsons was destroying that O line, and it had to take Leonard Fournette to give him a shot to the side for him to like actually slow him down.
And is
I
it
think
Leonard Fournette dealing with an injury too?
He is, yeah, but he's limited. He's
yes,
been limited in practice.
yes,
I think the
he should
last
play.
week.
He
Yeah, I
should
think
be
he's
ready to
good.
rock and roll. But I think you pick up White.
It was weird because you guys know I have Fournette and Swift, and their notifications came right after each other. It was so crazy.
That's
I was
annoying.
like,
That making
"There's
my
no." I'm
heart
like,
hurt,
"What
bro.
the hell just happened?" I'm like, "This is
That's
crazy."
fantasy. That is
That's
fantasy.
crazy.
That is fantasy. But look, I think I don't. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of starting Tom Brady against the Saints. He lost to them twice last season. Saints kind of owned them when it comes to playing Tampa Bay. That's like their kryptonite. Tom Brady doesn't have an offensive line. The Saints are gonna take advantage of that, and I take the Saints to win this game. Actually,
So,
I think you start.
yeah, no, go ahead. Where you start? I was
Okay,
gonna ask you, do you start Mike Evans because since you because Tom
I
Brady
mean, where
is
you
a
where
bad
you
history.
drafted him, you have to
Yeah.
start
You
him.
always start Mike Evans.
You got to
yeah.
start Mike Evans. I'm starting Julio Jones. Even though I think Tom Brady is not going to win, I think Julio Jones, though how much he got active with Godwin there, I think now without Godwin, who's going to be out, by the way, Godwin is out for a couple weeks. I think Julio Jones is
And
a
Julio just gonna
solid
have a
flex play.
huge game because now Mike Evans is dealing with is it? It's not a hammy. I think it's just an ankle injury. But he's dealing with
And
injury.
Evan gets the number one corner focused on him, so Julio could get that attention. So I'm definitely starting him. And if you really want to go deep and sleep and like a sleeper type pick, Russell Gage, you could probably start in the slot because Tom Brady's gonna have to dump off a lot faster. I think Fournette benefits off of that, and I think Russell Gage could benefit a lot more over these quick passes because Tom Brady not gonna have a lot of time to throw. I think you start Michael Thomas. I don't think you start Chris Olave. I think you need to wait. Javarius Landry, that
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
he
say.
led the team. I think if you have him and if you want to start him, I think Jameis Winston, like C said, he looked good. I think
Yeah,
you
he
start
did.
Javarius
He did look
Landry.
good.
Yeah, he looked really good. I think for a tight end, Taysom Hill is so weird. The fact that he's a
They
tight
ran him.
end.
They put him back as a tight end, right?
He's
I don't know.
officially a tight end.
Then,
Listed
but
as a tight
then
end.
we had this problem where they put him as a tight end, and then like the quarterback, Drew Brees got hurt or something. Was it? And then someone picked him up and put him in the tight end spot, and he was the quarterback. He was literally the quarterback for the team. So if that happens this year, are they gonna be quick to switch him back to a QB or
They're
I don't
gonna
know,
have
man.
to,
It's-
but I do think that's a solid tight end that we haven't talked about. He's listed as a tight end, and every time the Saints are in the red zone, he always gets at least one opportunity to run it in for them. If not, then they bring in Kamara. But I feel like when you have tight ends who are struggling, like George Kittle injured, if you really want to take that risk, you just pick up Taysom Hill, who they put in the Wildcat. He could throw, he could run, he always gets a big yard somehow. He could be a solid play. I do think it's a solid play. I don't think you start Chris Olave, and I take the Saints to win this game.
yeah, for sure. I like the Saints.
I
a lot.
agree.
They always give him trouble.
Yeah, I always give him trouble. All right, let's see.
Let's keep
Now-
it going.
I'm gonna talk. I think we should talk about the Rams and the Falcons.
Okay.
Rams and the Falcons, and I think after that, I think we could probably hit one more team, and then we have to do our starts and sits. Gonna have to move a little fast here.
I
So
think this could be the last
Falcons,
team. That's fine.
last team, Falcons
Yeah.
and Rams. I think Matthew Stafford has a bounce back game. I think if you drafted Matthew Stafford over Kyler Murray, I don't think you drop him. At that point, you already wasted. And I think you already wasted that draft capital. So if you're gonna do that, why drop him? I think it's too early in week one to pick to drop Matthew Stafford. I think he's gonna have a big comeback game this week. I think the Rams are upset. They got embarrassed at home. I think they're embarrassed. They got upset. And they got upset at home by the Bills. And I think Sean McVay is not happy for the first time in his whole coaching career that he started under 500. They're gonna come out gun blazing and they're gonna come out hot. I think you start Cooper Kupp, obviously. I think you start Darrell Henderson. I think you start Allen Robinson. I think he blows up this game. I really do, but I have all faith that this whole team has a great game. On the Falcons side, stop laughing. On the Falcons side, Jake London, he looked good. I don't think I'll start him. I mean, I'm gonna be listen. If he's going up against Jalen Ramsey after what Stephon Diggs did, I think you can start. You can start Jake London because holy crap,
Nah,
Ramsey.
that's different though because Stephon Diggs is his father, so it's
Yeah.
actually different. So it's actually different.
How do you guys feel about Cordell Patterson against his matchup?
Start
Oh,
them
he-
if they're gonna keep doing
I
what
don't
the
know. I
heck they
think you
did last
start him.
week.
And it's crazy because we really didn't even talk about him before the season started. And
Because he's old. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
but
think he can do
why-
this?
why-
but
he's
look,
still
100,
there, like, I don't
120 something
understand.
yards though. Like, wow.
I don't
I mean, he
understand.
looked really good.
Let's keep
I
in
like
mind
him.
that Damian Williams was hurt, could not play that game. Damian Williams was supposed to get like that Mike Davis role, even though Mike Davis did nothing with it. So he's not Cordell Patterson not supposed to get all the carries, but he's still gonna be involved on the team when they need him. So I think, like you said, solid play.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts. Somebody make somebody feel good. Make somebody feel good.
Man, you have to start him. You went high. You drafted
Yeah.
him 2 and 3. You have to
Yep.
start him. But like I said when we did our rankings a long time ago, I was kind of weird on Kyle Pitts, but it's only week 1. He can have a bounce back game this week and have 20 points. So it's only week 1. Don't like I said, week 1 is a very small sample size. Don't judge the whole season on 1 week.
Yes.
Give it some time. And I think Kyle Pitts has too much talent on a team with not a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
talent to be someone who you don't start every single
I-
week. So don't
Yeah,
even
agree.
you
think about
definitely
it.
start him, man. You,
Chris,
like
you
Chris said, you drafted him so
way
freaking
too
high.
You
At
started
least
him.
2 or 3. I know it's gonna be scary when you have Aaron Donald running at you and Mario doesn't know what the hell to do. But I mean, you got to find him out there somewhere. He's a big guy. Just throw it up. He'll be there. I don't know.
Kyle Pitts
Listen,
out there
I-
somewhere.
He's out
I
there
am with you.
somewhere.
last question. Are you starting Cam Akers?
Stop. We're on the Henderson train, guys.
Oh
Yo.
man. All right. You can take off the schedule. Let's hit our start and sits of the week. We're gonna go position by position. And we're gonna start off on the happy side, right? Let's do our big starts of the week.
Let's go.
Chris, give me your quarterback start of the week.
Well, you already mentioned him, so I'm not gonna go too into depth. But just Carson Wentz definitely a solid start, especially after last week. Facing another mediocre defense. I think definitely he's gonna have another great game. And if it is a high scoring game, like I think it'll be, um, because the two defenses definitely start. And if they're gonna trail, of course you're definitely gonna start. So not too
I
much to
I
talk about.
totally agree. C, give me your start, your quarterback start of the week.
Derek Vehicle. I love Derek Carr this year.
Oh,
And this game. If he does half of a Derek Vehicle,
I was like, wait, what the hell?
if
I saw
if
your face. It made me laugh.
if Derek Vehicle does half of what Patrick Mahomes did last week, that's a good week. To the Cardinals, like I think he comes in gun blazing. You're gonna have Devontae Adams scoring 50 points, maybe even Renfro 30, and then a random wide receiver that we haven't heard about score 20. So
How about
I
Darren
think
Waller?
Darren
He didn't have
Waller.
a really good game last week.
He didn't. And I think if he does start this week, he started last week. It's too many
Yeah,
players
he
to keep in
played.
mind.
He
So
played. He just
he's
didn't
gonna
do
be on
good.
the team.
It was the Devontae Adams show. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
for sure. I mean, hey, if Devontae Adams says he's playing in front of his grandma for the very first time, you already know he's gonna be big. This man said, my grandma's coming to see me for the very first time. She's never come see me play football. If you see that press conference, don't even worry about you won that week. You know Devontae Adams gonna kill. Like there's no
Yeah,
way.
he's
But
gonna
yeah,
kill.
I think Derek Carr is a good start for this week.
I agree. I am with that. My QB start of the week, I already said it. Matthew Stafford, and this is just not, you know, it's not to come at anybody. Listen, it's not.
Lying.
I promise, it's not. He's facing the Falcons.
Where's your cap,
Like
bro? You don't wear the
he
cap.
he's facing the Falcons. How you gonna like, if Matthew Stafford should be a start? He had a bad first week against the Bills defense. The Bills Mafia made sure that he did not do anything. But he faces the Atlanta Falcons. You don't drop Matthew Stafford after wasting that draft capital, all right? You start him. Matthew Stafford is going to have a comeback week, 25 plus points. He's going to end as a top 5 QB at the end of this week. Mark it and book it, baby. Running
Okay.
back of the week. Your running back, Chris.
Oh
Who you
man.
got?
Again, another guy you talked about, so I'm not gonna go to him, but Darrell Henderson, definitely looks like he definitely is the starter, especially after that stinker that Cam Akers had. But it looks like he's a starter, not even because of the performance, just because the Sean McVay made him start. I mean, he was on the field more than Cam Akers. He did a lot more. You're playing the
Yeah.
Falcons. I think he's gonna have another great game, possibly a touchdown or two. So definitely, that's my start of the week.
All right. C, give us your running back start of the week.
All right, especially if this guy if Robinson's not playing. I love Antonio Gibson again. Antonio Gibson. He's gonna be coming in here. He's gonna do exactly what he did last week. He has a good matchup against the Lions, and we set to start everybody on those two teams. So if Antonio
Listen.
Gibson does what he does last week, even with a fumble, it's a good week. So
And Antonio Gibson did great last week. Ron Rivera is using him well in the passing game. I think that even when Brian Robinson comes back, Antonio Gibson, like I've always said, is still gonna have a role. But definitely this week he has a great matchup. My running back of the week, we talked about him earlier, Travis Etienne. I think you start him. They're gonna face the Colts defense. They are a good front seven, so it's gonna require Trevor Lawrence to pass a lot. He's gonna dump off a lot, Travis Etienne, and he might have a big breakout game. I think you start him. I think he gives you a good week. Wide receiver of the week. Chris, hit us with your wide receiver of the week.
My wide receiver is Alan Lazard. I think he's gonna have a great game because he was out and because Aaron Rodgers is going to be looking for a reliable wide receiver.
he's looking for a
I think
savior.
he's just gonna look for anybody who could catch
Yeah.
the ball. I think Alan Lazard has a great game against Chicago. Aaron Rodgers owns them, and I think Alan Lazard has a very good game.
Oh yeah, baby. I'm on board. C, give us your wide receiver of the week.
You mentioned them earlier, and I'm always mentioning him because I love him. Amon Ra St. Brown. He's my receiver.
I'm on right.
Amon Ra St. Brown. Sounds like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
What?
The
Who
weak
says
dragon of
that?
Raw.
No, no.
Yeah.
Think he's a great start of the week. For me as a wide receiver, I think he's gonna be absolutely amazing in this game. It looks like the go-to guy in Detroit, like you said earlier. And facing the Commanders, that's just that's at least I guarantee I 99% sure he scores a touchdown this week again. I am
Oh yeah,
99%.
I
He scored
am.
20 points in his last 5 of his last 6 starts. That's a good
He
nugget
looks
for you to
real
know.
good. He looks really good on that Detroit team. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god, that threw me off. My bad. All right, my wide receiver start of the week. If this is a big if, I have a backup. Uh, T. Higgins is still on concussion protocol. We don't know if he's playing. If he is ruled out, Tyler Boyd is my wide receiver start of the week. I think Tyler Boyd is probably the best third wide receiver option on anybody's team. I think he is the best third guy in in the NFL. I think that you couldn't have a better third wide receiver than him. So if T. Higgins is out, Joe Burrow should have a solid game and he should hit Tyler Boyd and he should get a lot of points for you. I think Tyler Boyd will sneak into the top 15 of this week if T. Higgins is out. If T. Higgins plays, I'm gonna go Marquise Brown from the Cardinals. I think Marquise Brown didn't have a really great week one that we suspected. I think it was a little bit of an off game, getting destroyed by Patrick Mahomes. So I really do believe that the Cardinals do pick it up, and I think if not Tyler Boyd, I put Marquise Brown as my wide receiver start of the week. Now to finish everything up, your tight end start of the week, Chris, tight end.
This one's not too hard, but I think it's obvious. We already talked about all the starts and sits with the Commanders and Lions, but T.J. Hawkinson is a definite start in this
Okay.
game. Um, I think he's just probably if what instead of Amon-Ra St. Brown passing wise, T.J. Hawkinson is your guy. Um, so yeah, not much to say with tight ends right now. I couldn't really come up with a great one, but
No, listen, it should be a shootout, and he could probably score a touchdown. He didn't have a good week one. Maybe he bounces back. C, hit us with your tight end for
Yeah,
for the week.
yeah. Going off of your point, what you said about the Cardinals, they're gonna have a bounce back week this week. When it comes to everything, so I'm gonna go with Zach Ertz. Ertz did most of his damage last week. In garbage time.
Yeah,
He was doing
he
great
was
at
like
all.
irrelevant.
Yeah, so during garbage time is when he got his points. And we're talking, and so I think that their defense is facing the Raiders. The Raiders are terrible against tight ends. When it comes to specific positions, they are
Yeah,
terrible. They've given up the 8th most points to tight ends. And their last, I believe, 8 games. So, yeah, I think Zach Ertz is gonna have a bounce back week as well. Expect him to be a great tight end pickup
all right. My tight
this
end
week.
of the week is gonna be Cole Kmet. He gave you a donut, and like everybody's been preaching and saying, forget about that game. They were in the worst weather game
They
you could
were
possibly be
underwater.
in. I think that Cole Kmet, a lot of people dropped him because they're upset. I think it was a mistake. I think he proves why he was the main talk of a late sleeper pick of the draft. Cole Kmet should have a comeback game. He should do very solid for you. Let's move on to our sits of the week. Chris, give me your tight end. Give me your
mm.
quarterback sit of the week.
um, so I just try to think of players that are not obvious. Like you're obviously gonna start um Patrick Mahomes. You're
Yeah.
obviously gonna start these like guys like Kim, Aaron Rodgers. But so if you do have him, which I don't know why you would have him, but if you do have him, sit him, Jared Goff. Even though we are saying yeah, it's gonna be a shootout, this, that, and everything like that. I still not comfortable in Jared Goff giving you anything higher than uh 16, 17 points.
He always
You
finds a
know,
way to throw it into. So the
yeah,
Detroit looks like they're
he'll give
great
you
at
2 touchdowns.
losing.
I'll give you three. You know,
Detroit looks like they're great at losing by 30 points in the first half, and then they just come back with all the
yeah.
garbage points.
So he's definitely sit for me. Like I said, if you
Okay.
have him, I don't know why you would have him. If you have him, sit him
All right.
or drop
C,
him.
give us your QB star of the week. I
My
mean, sit.
sit
I'm sorry.
my QB sit of the week is Baker Mayfield. I already talked about how I feel about starting uh the Giants and how they haven't given much to receivers, and even if the receivers
Gosh,
do,
his team.
even if the even if even if the receivers do bounce back, which is a possibility, DJ Moore and all these wide receivers have an opportunity. I still don't think that Baker they could be receivers who do great and the quarterbacks still don't do as great. Look at the Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup had 31 points, but Stafford was under 10 points. So I don't think that Baker Mayfield gets what you want from him this week. So he's just not an he's not an he was a quarterback that I know is not an obvious start or sit. So he's a
Hmm.
quarterback that I mentioned here this week.
I hope he throws 4 touchdowns. My QB sit of the week is someone that you think that you're probably gonna start anyways, but I don't care. I think you should sit Tom Brady against the Saints. We talked about it. He has a tough matchup. Last year towards the end of the season, the Saints beat them 9-0, and he didn't do nothing. The Saints defense really do know how to play Tom Brady. He has no offensive line. He should be struggling. I would much rather sit Brady this week and play Carson Wentz. That should I feel like I would much do that. I would sit Brady and start Carson Wentz is probably my best example.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
good,
sit
fine.
I'm gonna sit Tom Brady. Next sit running backs. Chris, hit us with your running backs.
Um, my sit running back is Damian Pierce. Um, and because
That's a
we
legend.
talked about it last week and everything, it was a lot of hype, especially coming from us, coming into the season. But it looks like Alex Burkhead is taking on that starting role, or he's getting a lot more playing time. And who they're playing? Hold on, Houston. They're playing the
They're playing
Broncos.
the
Um,
Broncos.
we have very, very, very tough defense to run on, and I just not confident. I know you. I know a lot of people reached for him. A
A
lot
lot
of
of people
people
did.
drafted high on him as a potential RB2, but as of right now, he's just not the guy right
And
now.
that
So
blows.
sit him.
Sit running back of the week.
And when you saw this earlier, I know you had your comments. I have Ezekiel Elliott this week. It's gonna be a hard sit.
Yeah.
For anybody who drafted him
Where
because
he
it's
drafted, yeah, I
yeah
feel like you're
for
plugging him, but yeah.
yeah I think it's even if I say his name, he's probably not gonna be sat.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you draft him as high as you did, especially I'm talking about people who drafted two quarterbacks early, running backs early, and then Ezekiel later, the third round went straight three. It's gonna be hard to sit him, but I just say sit him because I don't have confidence in Dallas after Dak being
No.
gone. It's hard to have any confidence in Dallas. I was low key looking at the waiver wire for tight ends after because I have Dawson Schultz. Like I don't have any confidence in in
That's
in
the only guy I do
Dallas.
have confidence in though, because the quarterback he can't play that bad
I
when nobody produces.
and I agree with you, and I agree with you. But even saying that, with having the most confidence in any player would be Dalton Schultz, that's kind of depressing because you have talent like CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel
I
Elliott, Tony
do.
Pollard,
I do,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So it's hard to start any of these players because it's like this guy sucks. It's not a backup quarterback that you can rely on. You even have talks in the news about them looking for a quarterback because they know this guy is not going to
Yeah,
be
no.
producing. So that
I
Ezekiel Elliott's my running back.
I see what you mean. I feel like, you're still stuck with him that you drafted him, so you have to deal with the pain. And sadly, I'm going through a pain very early in the beginning of fantasy. My RB sit of the week is two running backs, and they're both on the same team. The Patriot running backs, I think you said them. They have a tough matchup against the Steelers front seven. Yeah, they don't have TJ Watt, but they're still going to be annoying. I think you said both Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. And yeah, we talked about it. There's not much I can say there. It's just I think they're sit. Wide receiver sit of the week. Chris, what do you have?
Um, Instead of the week, I have Traylon Burks. No surprise, we've seen Bills Mafia in action, and I don't think Traylon Burks has a great game. I don't really typically love Ryan Tannehill. Um, I just think this Bills defense is just too good.
Oh, you're right.
Yes,
Like you said,
There's
you've
not
seen what
much.
they
Yeah.
did against the Super Bowl champs. I
You
mean,
saw what they did
you
against
know,
Allen Robinson, and that's where Traylon Burks
yeah.
plays. He's the wideout. He doesn't play slot. So they locked him up. So I totally agree with that. C, who do you have as your wide receiver sit of the week?
I'm not gonna say too much about it because I've already said a lot about facing the Giants. I'm gonna go with Robbie Anderson.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
That was my wide receiver. And just basically for all the other things that I've already said, about like 2, 3 times already, so I'm not gonna repeat myself.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, my wide receiver sit of the week is Rashad Bateman. Um, he went against last week. Everybody came into the season thinking that Rashad Bateman would get high target volume, and week one didn't really show that. He only had 4 or 5 targets, I believe. The rookie Duvernay looked like a guy who's getting a lot of Lamar's attention right now, and you had a week where Mark Andrews didn't get a lot of targets either, and Bateman still did mediocre. If it wasn't for that second long bomb or touchdown, he gives you 2 points probably. So I think he's a sit this week against Miami. I think that they're gonna learn their game plan will be to shut him down. I think Mark Andrews and Duvernay are probably better options that a better chance to play good. Um, tight end sit of the week. Chris, hit us.
You're gonna love this one, Jacob. I have Jets tight ends.
Yeah.
Or any of them. Yes, we did.
Woo!
Me and you did pick them to win this game, but the Titans are not gonna add any value. Maybe you'll get a goal line touchdown, but I mean, look, Tyler Conklin, he did have 4 catches, but only 16 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. It
Don't
looked
see
ugly.
another touchdown coming his way this week, but yeah, just avoid any tight end on the Jets.
All right. See, hit us with your tight end sit of this week.
This is a sit plus drop, honestly. Just Mike Gesicki. And I talked about him before.
Oh, why you have him on your roster?
Because if you look at his ADP, he was actually higher than a lot of tight ends. So I wouldn't. I'm not surprised, and I have to look at the roster percentage. But
I'll look for you right now because I
um,
can't believe this.
he was actually ADP wise, he's actually higher than a lot of tight ends
Yeah.
who were who we know are better than him. But yeah, it's just too many weapons, like we said in Miami. He's yeah, just not a lot to say about Mike Gesicki. Just honestly, don't need forget about not starting him. Look for another tight end if you have
He is
him.
registered in 63% of rosters. Like, what the hell?
That's what I'm saying.
Because
I
His
don't-
63%
ADP,
of people don't listen to our
because
podcast.
63% of people may have been auto drafting at that point of the league. So
Bro, at that point,
where
oh
his
my
ADP
God.
is it's crazy. No, I'm
Okay.
serious. I look at that and I'm like, there's no way. Yeah, so it's a sit plus drop for Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, at
Look for
that
another
point,
tight end.
I totally agree with you there. My set of the week is Hunter Henry from the Patriots. A lot of people have him rostered. I do think he was a solid draft pick, but I think this week with Mac Jones having back problems, he doesn't look like he's healthy, and the fact that they're going up against, oh my God, the Patriots. I mean, the Steelers. I think that's a tough. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game, and I don't think anybody in the Patriots should be started. And the only person that people are thinking about is Hunter Henry, and I think you should sit him. So that's all I can really say. I don't think you start. I don't think you sit him this week. That was our start and sit of the weeks. These are the guys that we believe that we mentioned guys who may that weren't drafted very high, but they could have a bomb week, boom or bust week. We truly believe. I think everyone that we mentioned, I'm on board with everybody that we've said. I'm on board with it. So it is a great start and sit of this podcast, which is on a Thursday. We're right at the very beginning of the start of the Chiefs and Chargers game. Enjoy the game. I will talk about it on the next podcast. Let's go Chargers, baby. That is J and C's podcast. You can watch us on YouTube and you can hear us on Spotify. We'll hit you guys back up in the next episode. Peace.